our first session, Impact of COVID on Quality of Higher Education, that will be given by Vice-Chancellor of National Law University, Simla, Professor Dr. Nishtha Jaswal. A warm welcome to you, madam. The session is handed over to you. Yes, madam.
Thank you, sir. At the very outset, I must congratulate, and at the same time, I want to present a note of appreciation for FELA. I'm biased too because I'm also a member of FELA now, for conducting such a wonderful program and on such a great topic of great significance. Impact of COVID on quality higher education. I'll pick up the keywords. Impact. There's a saying, people who change after the change survive. People who change with the change succeed. People who cause a change will lead. That proves, if I raise the hypothesis, that we are the leaders. And again, I appreciate FELA for bringing so many vice chancellors on the same platform, talking on a very significant issue.
Yes.
So this is the, in fact, first resolution, that we are leaders. We have boldly faced the COVID-19 pandemic situation, but we have to become more powerful leaders, a number of issues. And for that purpose, again, I'll appreciate FELA by quoting a Sangathan Sutta from Rig Veda. Samani va akuti samana hridyani va samana vastu vo mano yatha va susahasati, which means united be our purpose, harmonious be our feelings, collected be our mind, in the same way as all the various aspects of the universe exist in togetherness and wholeness. Now, this is the second resolution, that we have to stand together. Now, if we swim together. If we sink together. We understand each other's sorrows. The only difference, as Dr. Meena talked about, we may not be in the first 50 or first 500. We may be at the bottom of 500. And just like Dr. Meena talked about the university being 5 years old, my university is also just 5 years old. And I can understand so many struggles which we face. So we have to be united, forgetting all distinctions, whether we are a developed, established university or we are in the process of establishing. And just referring to National Education Policy 2020, great principles of access, equity, quality, affordability, accountability. And at the same time, the National Education Policy aims at developing good human beings with rational thinking, compassion, empathy, courage, resilience, scientific temper, creative imagination, and ethical values. Now, this is the foundation on which we have to talk. Are we making efforts to provide all this, which is our basic aim? Again, I always carry the treasure of Vedas. Because if we want to know about the qualities of a good human being or any person whom you can include in the intellectual class, Vidya Vitarko Vigyanam Smriti Tatparta Kriya Yasya Ete Shad Gunas Tasya Na Sadhyam Mati Vartate, which means nothing is impossible for those who have 6 virtues: knowledge, logic, science, memory, readiness, ability to function. Now, all of us know what happened 2020 March, we remember. Lockdown because of COVID-19 pandemic situation. Now, as I said, we wanted to bring a change, so we started with the online classes immediately. I know much water has flown under the bridges till now, but still I'll just refer to certain minor issues which we can ignore otherwise. Virtual classroom. I hope all the vice chancellors can recollect how much resistance we had from the students, number of excuses or rational reasons that Wi-Fi issue is there. They can't afford the internet facility. They are from the rural background. They're from the interiors of the state where they don't have all these facilities. So we had to struggle. Even though, as I said, we are just 5 years old, having financial constraints, still we decided to announce that we will even refund their expenditure on Wi-Fi. Minor things, as because number of psychological issues, social issues got involved immediately. We talk about that our faculty should always be ready to adapt the change, to adjust with the circumstances, but at times we just forget our faculty members. They are also human beings. They have families, they have children, school going children, and their children's classes also started online. And I hope all of you us understand that for the kids, it is not their online classes, it is their parents' online classes. So there was a conflict which we must understand, which continued and still continuing. At the same time, because basically we are academicians, we are academicians turned administrators. Just imagine, at least I can imagine the very first lecture I delivered online, it was in front of just a black screen. You know what kind of pain you feel in the heart, because we have ushered in a society where we used to have Guru Shishya Parampara, and this teacher student relationship rests on face to face relationship, one to one relationship, interaction. Unless and until the teacher looks into the eyes of the students, I feel you cannot impart anything. But it was just the reverse. Even if you tell the students to switch on the cameras, they were not ready. These are minor things which we had been ignoring. We are just adjusting to everything. Now, technology. Then we said we have to take shelter with the technology, artificial intelligence. But what we lost, where we lost. Technology created social media, but we lost the social bonds. The bonds which were there when the students, they were sitting in the classrooms. Students, when they were residing in the hostels, when they were sitting in the libraries and studying. I can share with you that I'm a poet by heart. So I have a number of poems on these issues, but I just decide few to make you understand the psychological issue. कक्षाओं में कुर्सियां सूनी सी, विश्वविद्यालयों की इमारतें सहमी सी, ना चहल पहल ना चह महक, सपनों की डोरियां रह गई अधबुनी सी. This is the mental condition of the students. And then when we talk about employment, many batches of post graduation, we have LLM 1 year course, 2 batches passed out without even having a feeling of the university. Just imagine when you are interviewing anything, when you are going on with the selection process, what happens? Again, just in my poem, तू ढूंढता है रोजगार बेशुमार, तू ढूंढता है रोजगार बेशुमार, समझे मगर कितना मुश्किल है साक्षात्कार. साक्षात्कार इज इंटरव्यू, जिसमें साक्षात ना होगा आकार, कोई ना समझ पाएगा भावों का व्यवहार. No, because much selection, much judgment depends upon your body posture, your body language. And then going further, we continued with the online classes, then examination also online. Examination online. Now we talk of quality education. Quality education also talks about testing the ability in one form or the other. Now, what kind of ability we had been testing? How they can search the material from the book and copy it? If they have to type, how they can copycat, cut, paste? This is what we were testing. And just imagine, if there are 50 students, 25 students writing the same answer, are they robots? Their artificial intelligence is so strong that they understand everything, conceptualize everything. No, this is not so. No. What kind of education we are providing? at least we had only that satisfaction that we saved their precious year. Now, then most of us have talked about the practical education, how difficult it is to provide legal education. And we used to have court visits, practical trainings, and we could not do it. We just had online sessions of experts. At the same time, as prescribed by the regulatory body, just we have Bar Council of India, we have clinical papers also. Clinical papers means that you have to give them practical knowledge about the subject. Like I can give a simple example. If we have to teach human rights, the students cannot understand human rights unless and until they visit the prisons, Nari Niketans, orphanages, and slums. They can't understand. No. How could we do it? Even the research suffered. I received many applications, many representations from the research scholars that they cannot carry on their empirical research because of the COVID-19 pandemic situation. So we suffered, but we fought like warriors, and we will keep on. Now, number of questions are there still. Library facilities, even though we tried to give remote access to the student, still we are giving remote access. Still, the ambience of the library is always different. You feel like touching a book, feeling the fragrance of the pages of the books, which is not possible in this situation. And above all, financial issues, all the universities had been facing to one extent or the other. And we also received a flood of emails for the reduction of fee. How difficult it is for the university, which is still on the developing stage. We understand the mental condition, the financial condition of the students, but same condition is being faced by the universities, because you have to meet with regular expenditures. And now we are at the threshold of opening. Some universities have opened, some are going to get opened. Now, a number of problems will be there. Some students may be eager to come, some may be resistant to it. And I hope each one of us can understand how difficult it is to have the hybrid mode of teaching. And I understand technology can become a savior even during this pandemic period and even now, but financial limitations always prove to be hurdles even in the technological advancement for imparting this education. And now after the opening, I think within no time, our sixth sense will start working when the students claim, yes, we will attend the classes offline, but we want the examination online. Because we provided them with this luxury to receive the degree without even gaining any knowledge. We, all of us understand, I'm not a field of science, but all the scientists, they understand where we are providing medical education or engineering education, that without practical training, the education becomes just a waste. And can we think of shouldering the responsibility of this nation on such students? We have regulatory bodies providing regulations which we have to abide by, but pandemic increased this burden also. Number of guidelines are issued, how we have to act, how we have to conduct different things during a pandemic. So again, we were at the crossroads, what to do, what not to do. And still we are at the crossroads, what to do and what not to do. And finally, I'll conclude that yes, we have to make the national education policy a living reality, but perhaps it was not even thought when this national education policy was being framed that we will suffer like this and we'll have to provide virtual education only. But still we have to work for imparting a quality education, because I believe that if we work hard and if destiny supports us, we can succeed, we can face all hurdles and tide over the crisis. I'll just conclude with again a long poem on national education policy, but 2-3 stanzas I'll just recite. उत्कृष्ट शोध निरंतर समीक्षा जड़ें करे मजबूत, देश हो सुदृढ़ संपन्न बढ़े इसका सम्मान, सार्वजनिक सेवा है सबको करना शिक्षा प्रदान, शिक्षा प्रणाली हो जीवंत और बने बलवान. Now, what we don't have to do, रट्टू तोता न बना दे वैचारिक और तर्क क्षमता, वैज्ञानिक स्वभाव रचनात्मक कल्पना है बढ़ाना, करुणाशील सहानुभूतिपूर्ण साहसी बनना, संविधान के सपनों को है सजीव बनाना. And for that purpose, what is required to be done? स्वराज्य और स्वराज्य में जीना है हमारा, मानव संस्थान को अच्छे से संवारना है, कुबेर के खजाने खोलने करें जो गवारा, तो समृद्धि और उन्नति का जमाना है. This is one thing. Financial contribution by the state, where all the time I keep on emphasizing whenever I talk about national education policy. And finally, providing autonomy, real autonomy to the teachers. This is very important if we have to impart quality education. I pray to God, हे ईश्वर, शिक्षक की पदवी कर सुसज्जित, हे ईश्वर शिक्षक की पदवी कर सुसज्जित, उसके ज्ञान मान सुख सब बढ़ाना है, उसका ज्ञान मान सुख सब बढ़ाना है, वह बनेगा गुरु प्रसिद्धि समृद्धि से सिंचित, वह बनेगा गुरु प्रसिद्धि समृद्धि से सिंचित, और भारत विश्व गुरु निश्चित बन जाना है, और भारत विश्व गुरु निश्चित बन जाना है. Thank you. सर्वे भवन्तु सुखिनः.
Yes. Excellent. Thank you so much, madam. There is one simple question. Madam, students have lost as good as 2 years academics, and particularly with reference to the engineering students, it is very difficult to go ahead without having the practical knowledge. So to ensure their real-time skill updates, real-time enhancement of the knowledge and the attitude as per the requirement, what measures will you propose at the national level? Institute level, people are doing it on different ad hoc basis. That is different issue. But at national level, what policy is expected to be formulated? What kind of policy you would like to propose?
Sir, we have, in fact, after completing the degree, we have in these courses internship programs, training programs. So we can have, in fact, very strong such training programs where, because it is very, very difficult to fill up the gap, but still efforts can be made. See, we have number of options, but those options are not in favor of students. If we say, because now it is in the process of opening, let us give at least 6 months period or 1 year period for these special practical trainings on whatever they have done. But that will in fact take them away from their destination, because everybody has a dream. Now 5 years are going to be completed and I'll be in the job. So for the purposes of like apprenticeship, for the purposes of jobs only, we can have uniform policy that they will have this apprenticeship or training or internship for this much period. I think that can fill up the gap to some extent.